The official AAIB report is out, and it's shocking. On June 12, 2025, Air India flight AI-171, a Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner registration VT-ANB, was cleared for departure from Ahmedabad to London Gatwick. Just seconds after liftoff, both engines shut down. Why? Because the fuel control switches were manually controlled to cut off, one after the other. We're going to walk through this flight exactly as the report describes, moment by moment. Then we'll ask some tough questions, explore possible causes, and make a few educated assumptions based on what we know so far. The aircraft begins its takeoff roll on runway 23. The pilot advances the throttle to take off power. Speed builds at 153 knots. This is B1, the point of no return. At 155 knots, the aircraft rotates and lifts off. Seven seconds after liftoff, the left engine fuel switch is moved to cutoff. 1 second later, the right engine is also shut down. Fuel flow to both engines stopped manually. The AAIB confirms that this was not mechanical failure, it was a manual action, but the reason is still unknown. Then a chilling exchange is heard in the cockpit voice recorder. One pilot asks, "Why did you cut off?" The other responds, "I did not do so." The report does not specify who said what. The ram air turbine, RAT, deploys, providing energy power. The pilots attempt engine restart. They move both fuel switches back to run, but it's too late. The aircraft crashes into BJ Medical College Hostel, about 2,300 feet past the runway. Impact speed around 145 to 150 knots. A fireball erupts. The aircraft breaks apart. 260 people died, 241 on board, and 19 on the ground. Only one person famously survived. So, what are fuel control switches? Each engine has a fuel control switch. It must be in the run position for fuel to flow. Switching to cutoff shuts the engine down. These switches are guarded and require deliberate movement. They're not easy to bump by accident. Could this have been prevented? The switches were found back in the run position after the crash, showing the crew tried to restart, but there just wasn't enough time. Jet engines need 30 seconds or more to spool up. They had less than 20 seconds of altitude left. Who was piloting the aircraft, and who was monitoring the flight? First Officer Clive Kundar was flying the aircraft. Captain Sumit Sabrawal was monitoring the flight. Cockpit voice recorder confirms the exchange, but not who said what. But based on standard procedure, it's likely the monitoring pilot was the captain, had asked the question, and the flying pilot, the first officer, responded. This heavily implies that it was Clive Kundar that actually flipped the switches. Let's break it down. The captain sits on the left and the first officer on the right. The fuel control switches are placed between the pilots. Engine 1 on the left, closer to the captain, and Engine 2 on the right, closer to the first officer. The report states that they were moved left to right, 1 second apart. This left to right activation suggests that the person in the captain's seat initiated the cutoff. If that's true, then it's the first officer that asks, "Why did you cut off?" His response, "I did not do so," takes on a chilling new light. Again, this isn't confirmed, but it's a compelling possibility backed by cockpit layout and timing. Could this have been prevented? After the crash, the switches were found back in run, indicating that the crew tried to restart, but they didn't have time. Jet engines need at least 30 seconds to spool up. This aircraft had less than 20 seconds of altitude remaining. There was no way to recover. Final thoughts. The AAIB's preliminary report suggests this wasn't a system failure. It was human action, mid-climb, that shut off both engines, leading to a crash that couldn't be stopped. I'm not a pilot, but I'm trained in root cause analysis and system thinking. And when the facts don't give full answers, I keep asking questions. There's still questions we need to ask, or questions that need to be answered. Who moved the switches? Who asked the critical question? Does the switch order matter? Could the first officer have reached over? Was this cockpit confusion or intent? We've walked through the flight exactly as the report describes. Now it's time to ask questions and explore what might have happened. Let me know your thoughts and comments and share your own theories. Subscribe for more real creations in Microsoft Flight Simulator. This is Final Approach POV. Stay sharp and safe flying, folks.